getting power. It's all about power. Squeeze two lemons together and really all you'll have is sour. Diesel. Niggas will smoke your ass to half the juice. Riding around in an all black coupe. Couple of pitches that's ready to shoot. Shit. Ducking and bucking and dodging and dropping with 40 ounces and cigarette butts. Fucking around with the up echelon. It will turn you to cubes and I hope you be gone. Ebola overload, cranium overdose in the cascade. What the fuck is the house? Click I get pap. Bitches a rap. Sierra my witness. I pray for a nap. Younger than the rest will return with the past. Kicking ignition. Put on the gas. None of you niggas is acting that jazz. Go team in the Glock and the Cypress and gas. Green gun. Particles. Turn you into molecules. Planet shrooms. Planet shrooms. I'll take you to my panic room.
Yeah. All these niggas stealing my style. Can I get my flow back? Yeah. Bob on that bitch like Kodak. Yeah. Bitch, you know that. Yeah. I push your shit all back. Told that bitch I got money. Ayy. Counting them hundreds is nothing. Ayy. Told that little bitch I got money. Ayy. Told that little bitch it is nothing. Ayy. Hit that bitch right from the back. She got turkey. I knock out that bitch like it's stuffing. Yeah. Told that little bitch that I'm with it. Told that little bitch that I'm with it. Ayy. What? 21 little boat, yeah, this a curry, cut your throat, yeah, Kodak do the most, yeah, I told that little bitch I got all the money, I swear this shit is just nothing, I just be dancing right up on that bitch, yeah, would you be stunting?
That one I gained on that boy, not my friend. I hang with my gang, the same gang that felt all of my pain. When I was struggling through the rain, when I had no guard with no ice, wasn't no food but rice. All of these bitches, they want me, but they get one night. Fuck them, I give a fuck what you saying. Bitch nigga, no, I ain't playing. I'm by my fatty. Silent team, we ready. Fuck up that nigga if he talk out too heavy, I'm body. Chains on my neck cost me 20. Look at your diamonds look like they fake. Young nigga in the Gucci stands. Fuck with me if you wanna die. Young nigga, I don't want no suit and ties. Fuck no. Look, bro.
Turn away. Turn away. Turn away. Turn away. Turn away. Turn away. I sent my bitch to the store cause we ran out of soda.
What?
Bitch, I'm trying to cook this Yola.
21.
100 round drum on the bottom of that shit. Chop a nigga down like a fucking lawnmower. AK-47 around my motherfucking shoulder.
21.
Pull up in a Rover, then I put up on the pistol. Put up on your bitch, she suck my dick and then you kissed her. Young savage bitch and I don't play around with them switches. I just smoke them woods. Yeah. Bitch, I'm from the hood. Yeah. Zone 6, bought the Crest Road, you can't go there. 21 gang, bitch.
21.
I'm in NYC, I think I got a fucking show there.
Yeah.
Hold up. Roll it on my wrist. Roll it on my bitch.
What?
30 on my waist.
What?
30 to your face.
Yeah.
60 to your face.
Yeah.
90 to your face.
Yeah.
That's a closed case.
Yeah.
You an old nigga. Man, you washed up. Young Savage, man, I got my car washed up. Put up on a motherfucking up.
Yeah.
Then I put up in a motherfucking Brinks truck. 21.
Who the fuck picked this little sorry ass beat? I'm from the ugly corner, man, them little sour ass streets. Now, homie, I'm the one who let you.
Okay, Kodak. This video has 154K million. That's nuts, dude. I didn't realize. Hello? Did you see the Shinji video? No. But at like 3:30 in the morning when I was fast asleep, Matt on the phone was like,
People Pog, wow.
You know Shinji made a video with you at... So I'm aware of it. Tarzan.
People Pog, wow.
Hello, Smile.
Leonard. Thank you for the prime. Matt.
People Pog, wow.
Thank you for the
10 months, Peepo happy, Maya and chat.
I saw that, Maya smile. Yay, Dark. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry if there are Fs. Last night, it took a long time to load things like YouTube videos and Netflix. And this morning, it took a long time to load things like my dashboard. So, right now, it looks like it's not effing, but those comments. I don't even know how to find it. Can you link me the video? But I don't think that there's anything I can do about the Fs. We just have to hope for the best with my internet. Cheese!
But take a picture. Male. Take a picture. Oh.
I can't read these for shit.
Hey.
Telling me that I'm supposed to read these?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Alright, I took the picture.
Something Zuki. Something Soshite. That means then.
Adjust your face in the overall.
That's all I got.
Oh,
Translate them. I don't have the time or the
good
patience.
Enough. Would you say, chat? I need to make sure that it's on my blue eyes.
Ina.
It's got, that's my best feature by
Something
far. So it's gotta stay on
monoto.
my blue eyes. 3, 2, 1.
Nanda.
Is it pointing at my hairline? It's trying to tell me it's not
Nanda
real. The
kono.
outer right eye. The outer left eye. The bottom of the chin. Place the right eye at the rightmost point of the face.
People Pug,
right
wow.
about there. Place
Dr.
the line
K.
of the
Pepper
hairline
cheer.
of the head.
Whoa!
Look, this is very sweet of you, prettyscale.com, but
Whoa!
is it possible to bend this line a little bit and curve it?
Beach!
Rightmost point of the mouth
13
and
months! Ms. Mizuki average grass, and she's beautiful. She normally beautiful. Ms. Mizuki's girlfriend is usually cute. What this couple? Get
People
married
Pug, wow.
early. Foreign women have different beauty than Japanese actresses. Mizuki is too flirting with her. Is too cute. Oh, my ears hurt. My ears hurt. She's so
People
cute.
Pug,
She's
wow.
the only one
Yo,
to come
smile.
to Japan.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. No, this works. Okay, so we're gonna do this, the right eye, bottom of the chin, hairline in the head.
Take 5 seconds to actually place shit where it's supposed to go and get a good picture. You're rushing Randy.
Why do his ears hurt?
Andy Pepega retard lol, it's not a speed run.
That was so mean. Place line at the hairline of the forehead. Okay, so this one's gonna take me a long time to get to. And we're there.
I've never seen a project like that. I was like textbook.
I need a Google Maps to find it.
I miss Matt. Okay. Well, that's nice. Thanks, Japan. Or something. I miss Matt too, because he didn't go live yesterday. What do we do about this go live for the day? Okay. What the hell, are you in a closet? No, Afro. Okay. I'm in a corner. I like
People Pug, wow.
corners.
Smile.
David, thank you for the 11 months. You're so close to being a bird. I like being in corners because there are less sides that you can get ambushed from in a corner. Speaking of anxiety, I am talking to Dr. K in 5 minutes. I am nervous. I am actually nervous. I had a hard time falling asleep last night. Then I had a hard time staying asleep. Was it because I was nervous, or was it
People
because
Pug,
Matt
wow.
kept talking? I don't know. F. Probably.
People Pug, wow.
Feels
A hype
okay,
train?
man.
Will!
Thumbs up. Hope everyone has an okay day today.
People Pug, wow.
Elf Beach, thank you for the Twitch Prime. AP Lime, thank you for the sub. F. God, this is bad. Guys, it's a hype train. Holy shit. Amazing. You know who I saw have a hype train yesterday? Senny. K4. I went into Senny's stream briefly, and when I clicked in, there was a picture of Pokimane on his screen, and he said that he wanted... What did he say? He said something really not nice. I think he said he wanted to punch her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said he wanted to punch her or something. And I was like, huh? But Senny got lots of subs yesterday. Go Senny. In other news, wow, Blink just subscribed to me with a tier 1. Thank you, Blink. In other news, I need a tier 2 emote. I think that there's a post on my subreddit about me needing a tier 2 emote. If you make a tier 2 emote max with
Stop
2
stalling.
months, if you need a tier 2 emote, or no, if you make a tier 2 emote and it's my favorite one, I'll gift you a sub to Lamont. Here's the clip. This is it.
Can't see you. Okay. I just want to punch her in the face. Holy shit. I can't see you.
That's exactly what it was. Oh no. What's going on? No, okay, let me, here, hold on. I feel bad. It wasn't like that. It's looking good for me and my internet today, boys.
I don't know about that. Pokemon is not looking... Good night, chat. Why are you guys asleep? I just closed my chat. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I can't see you. Okay. I just want to punch her in the face. Holy shit. I was reading chat. I was reading chat.
He was reading chat, boys. It's fine. Okay. I painted something yesterday. Potato Master. Thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate it. I painted this for my sister yesterday. Wow.
Yo.
Seabass! Thanks for the 7 months. What is this, you ask? I don't know. She asked for it. She needs more art in her house. These are the 4 Greek words for love. This one is about love from God. She's religious. I'm not. But she's religious. This one is about brotherly love and service. This one's about familial love, and this one's about romantic love. Hooray! Mountains. Birds. I did that yesterday. Oh god. Oh god, it's 59. It's 9:59. Whoa, the hype train's 81% done. That's wild. He isn't even live yet. Alright, dude, we're good to go. Yo! Tavian! Did you guys know that Tavian's from the North Pole? His eyebrows froze off. F's in chat for Tavian, and then his eyebrows. Wait, oh god. I literally a second ago told you guys to put F's in chat, and I freaked out because I thought my stream F. People Pog, wow. Hellcat, thanks for the... Yay! Hype Train is 100% done. That's wild. K-Jello with the 3. Thank you. People Pog, wow. Yay. Yesterday I thought I ran out of white paint. Wow. But I didn't. Because I cut this open. People Pog, wow. And there is more white paint. Should I get some food? No. Should I get water? Yes. No. I should get water. I should get more water. Here. It's not over, Kodak.
Starving ass eat, you was hungry. I ain't have to let your sorry ass eat. My cousin G1 got out for manslaughter last week. Gave my dog $1.50, that nigga brought me back 3. I'm a nigga broad and get up all in them cheese tied. They dead flies.
Don't look at my recommended. I just spilled water on my pants. No! Oh, it was more water than I thought. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Where's the alert? What the hell? AQ with the 5. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. AQ. Thank you. Cool. Level 4. Wow. I don't know how any of that works. But here we are. Oh wow, it's on level 5. It's the final level. We've never finished a hype train, have we? Because I've never been hype about a hype train because I don't know how. To be. I got this. Here's a cute baby goat to calm you down. If this isn't a baby goat, I'm gonna scream. I hate you, 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 I hate you. People pug, wow. F. Thank you, SK, for the Twitch Prime. I'm just gonna say F when I see the little box turn red. Afro. Stupid. People pug, wow. Okay, maybe I'm stupid or I've just never noticed, but I've never seen the bee. People pug, wow. Up here. Wait. This. I've never seen a bee here. This has 1 billion views. Vox or Vooks, I don't know. And Elres, thank you. 2 months and 8 months. That's been a thing for 3 years now. Okay, YouTube frog. I'm sorry. Oh God. Oh God. He asked if I'm ready to start in 10 minutes. Wow! This desk is so much bigger than my desk. A corner! Discord DMs? Oh god. He said ready? Should I just not respond? Alright, here we go. So I guess I'm just gonna mute I'm gonna mute alerts. I'm gonna do it the same way, I'm gonna do it the same way I did with the chubby, I think. So I gotta disable my camera on OBS, and then, you really want me to close chat? Alright. I gotta disable my camera on OBS. I'll tell you when I'm closing it. I gotta disable my camera on OBS, and then, oh god. And then I'll full screen it on this monitor.
All right, let's check our audio. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Can you speak again, please, Maya?
Hello?
Okay, so we're gonna turn you way up.
Okay.
Again?
Hello? Yeah, my voice is pretty soft, sorry.
Okay. Can you guys hear? Keep talking, Maya.
Hi, chat. Hi, my chat. Hi, Dr. K's chat.
Okay, better? All right, let's switch.
All right.
Oh, I don't see video.
Yeah, hold on, sorry. How about now? Good.
Oh, yes. We're good.
Cool.
Okay, let me just switch this.
All right, chat. Bye.
Hey.
Hi.
So I'm calling you Maya. So this is one of the easy ones because I have. Oh, why doesn't my video work? Hold on. Turn off camera. Turn on camera. What's weird about this? Okay, this may. Hold on. You can't see my face, right?
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. I thought I had taken care of this.
Chat, I opened you again.
Let's see. Camera HD. I thought we had sorted this out. I just fixed this. I don't understand. Okay. Hold on. I may have to restart stream. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'm going to restart stream real quick. I shall be right back.
Okay.
Yes, I want to exit while live. Okay.
Well, that's annoying. Poor guy. Close chat for weird. I'm not gonna close chat right now. I opened it again because we weren't talking yet. Oh, I can see you now.
Yeah.
Hello.
I sometimes have to. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. Hang on, let me redo this. Okay. Hi.
Hey, so I think we're okay. So we're gonna do this. Can you guys see me now? Everything good?
I think so. All right, chat. Yep. I'm closing you. Bye.
Okay. Say goodbye to chat.
I did. This is my first. I've never closed chat for a stream before. That's weird.
Yeah. What's weird about it?
It feels like I'm not live. But that's fine.
Well, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Let's just trick your brain into thinking that thousands of people on the internet are not watching this.
For sure. Good start.
So it's okay if I call you Maya?
Yeah, for sure. That's
I was just saying that this is actually really fun for me because I actually know what to call someone. When,
Yeah,
you know, based on-
I just changed my name on Twitch to Maya. Prior to that, it was Maya Higa, which is my name. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Higa, what is
It's Japanese. My dad's Okinawan. So
Okay, cool.
It's an Okinawan last name.
And so what are we talking about today, Maya?
It was difficult for me to come up with that. Yeah, what? But I guess general anxiety. My chat said that I should talk about overthinking because I do that a lot. And then I have trouble internalizing my success because I share a lot of my viewership with my boyfriend who you talked to, Mizkif or Matt. Yeah. So
how's Mizkif doing?
He's good. Well, actually, he's playing a game right now that makes him not so good, but but
Man,
otherwise he's good.
I think Mizkif is fantastic, man. I like him so much.
I think so too. But yeah, so a lot of my growth on Twitch happened after I met and started dating him. So sometimes I have trouble like owning my success and not thinking that it's just solely attributed to his. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of a long story. I haven't been on Twitch all that long. It's been just over a year.
Okay.
But
so can you tell us the story?
Yeah, for sure. I'll try to make it digestible. I started in like February or something like that. And I was maxing out at like a couple hundred viewers, and then one day I brought my hawk out on stream, and a clip of that got put on LSF. So clips of me started getting put on LSF livestream fails, blowing up, whatever. And then Matt found me off of those clips and called me on stream. We started talking that way, and then several
Who's
months
Matt?
later, Mizkif, sorry.
And
then several months later, we started dating. But my channel blew up after talking to Matt and after LSF.
Okay. And so you feel like your success on Twitch is attributed to Mizkif or Matt?
Partially, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, big partially.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. So, I mean, sometimes it doesn't bother me, or it doesn't matter because I still like what I'm doing with the platform and I'm proud of it. But it also makes my achievements, when I think about it, feel less satisfying, I guess. Like less fulfilling, I guess.
So you're kind of thinking like if you had done it on your own, it would mean more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And help me understand what you mean by achievements.
I do a conservation podcast on my channel every week, and I've done a lot of charity. Yeah, happy Earth Day. Chat, I'm sorry I didn't say that to you. Yeah, it's Earth Day. But I do a conservation podcast every week, and we raise money. I talk to a conservationist, psychologist, biologist, whatever, about conservation research and about usually a particular species, and we raise money for an organization of their choosing. Through the podcast alone, we're at, I think it's 26 episodes. We've raised nearly 30K or around there. Wow. And then through my streaming career, it's been well over 50K. I do a lot of charity on my stream.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about doing that?
It's the most important thing that I've done in my life is the podcast and being like a powerful force in conservation education and being able to teach more people. Because before I started streaming, I had been working at a zoo for several years doing conservation education. So like bringing animal ambassadors out and teaching kids and bringing them to birthday parties and stuff like that. And that's been my thing and my dream forever. So Twitch kind of just gave me a platform to do that on a larger scale. So
yeah, my kids love that stuff.
Yeah, most kids do.
like a fair, and there's like a dude there with animals.
Yeah, that was me for 2
Yeah.
summers. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that my older one, they like different animals. So my older one is terrified of all of the animals that my younger one really likes.
Well, they can learn from each other. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you would think so, but it doesn't. The younger one is oblivious that, you know, the older one is scared of large animals and snakes and crocodiles and alligators.
Got it.
And the younger one wants to befriend all of them. And we
Yeah.
have to explain to her, because sometimes I'll tell her stories about, you know, friendly alligators, and then we actually have an alligator in our backyard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So we have to
scary.
explain to her that you can't actually like go up to the water and pet the alligator.
It's a fine line with having people fall in love with animals and not having them think that all animals are necessarily their friends.
Have you seen Tiger King?
I have.
Any thoughts about that? Can I ask you about that, or should we
Yeah,
talk
for
about
sure.
your feelings?
I absolutely despise the entire series. The only reason that I watched it is because I felt the the obligation to be able to comment on it.
Sure.
But it's the good thing about the series is that it exposes a lot of the really, really terrible stuff that happens in the exotic animal industry, in the for-profit exotic animal industry, and the exploitation that comes with cub petting and animal interactions, and especially with big cats. So I think that the best thing that came out of that series is everyone who watched it, I think, would now be uncomfortable going to a facility and doing like cub petting, you know? And that's huge, because that's been going on forever, and there are a lot of animals that aren't going to suffer anymore because of the series. But it was really frustrating to watch, for sure.
What was frustrating to watch about it?
The animal husbandry in the series, the dynamics between the people from, you know, a normal person perspective were pretty wild. Just the lack of care for the animals and the amount of care for the profit and for the power is frustrating.
Yeah.
You see that a lot in exotics when you have something that people aren't supposed to have, you know, or that most people don't have. So
interesting. Okay. So you know, I've just been listening for your overthinking over the course of this conversation. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's well, I guess that's good.
Sorry for wobbling everything.
No, you're fine. Overthinking for me at this point in my life is pretty much only about streaming stuff, I think.
So help me understand what you mean by overthinking, or because we're taking advice from chat nowadays. What your chat feels about your overthinking.
I'm trying to think of an example. A while ago, I set a goal incentive for a sponsored stream. Well, this has happened a couple times. So I set a goal incentive to add an emote, and I don't know if you're familiar with like haha emotes, but like it's an emote like of my face that is like cringing, and you're supposed to use it when someone says something that's not funny.
Okay.
But that kind of emote lends to toxicity in chat, because it's like you're telling someone that they're not funny. And I said that I would add that emote as a goal incentive for a certain amount of downloads. I think this is right. I think that's why I did that on a sponsored stream. And
what is a download?
It was for
I know what a download is, but
chat. I may be getting this confused. I'm pretty sure it was an incentive for something. I think it was for Raid Shadow Legends, and like the sponsor is they want you to get a certain amount of downloads for this free game.
Got it.
And so you keep track of how many of your viewers have downloaded it. And I think that's why I did it. I may be getting confused,
but
sure. It was an incentive for sure. And I freaked out after doing it, because I was like, wait, do people think that I'm just like a sellout, or that I'm that I don't care about like enabling toxicity, or are people starting to think that like I'm not a good person because of that emote? And I freaked out, and then I deleted the emote, and then chat freaked out, and they got really mad because they were like, you scammed us. So then I added it back.
Sure.
Yeah. That was an example, I guess.
That's an example of overthinking?
I think, yeah, I think I was overthinking when I like snowballed, I guess, from
So that feels to me.
Sorry, when I snowballed from like I added this emote to like people think that I'm a bad person.
Okay. So emote enabling toxicity.
Uh-huh.
I'm a bad person.
Battery low.
Oh no.
So the first thing is let's kind of understand what's happening in your mind there. Oh, it looks like
okay.
Charging
so let's
battery.
try to understand what's happening in your mind there first. Okay. So you say overthinking.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna toss back at you is that there may be a particular. So I want you to envision your mind as having different centers of let's call them thought producers. Mm-hmm. So you'll have like some part of your mind. Let's talk about the internalizing growth for a second, right? So you have one part of your mind that produces thoughts like, yeah, like at the end of the day, sure, Mizkif gave you a bump, but people wouldn't watch your stream if they didn't like your content, right? So like, sure, you got exposure through Mizkif, but I don't think that, just based on my understanding of Twitch, our channel got huge bumps from a lot of different places. And at the top of the list is probably our stream with Recful. And so I'm grateful for that. And I think that that's like a big part of our growth. And at the same time, there's a part of me that says that like, sure, we got like a gigantic bump from that. We went from probably like 150 to like 10,000 in terms of like before and, during the Recful stream and things like that. And so certainly there are bumps that happen, but one of the things that I've come to understand about Twitch is that generally speaking, sure, you can get a bump because of a particular interaction, but people usually watch the streams that they enjoy.
Right.
Like, I don't think anyone watches stream. Maybe people do, but generally speaking, like I know when I watch a Twitch stream, I watch a Twitch stream because I enjoy watching a Twitch stream. I don't do it, and I find certain streamers in certain ways. But once I find a streamer, if I like a streamer, I watch their stream. So let's say that there's a part of you that sort of understands that, and that produces thoughts, right? Like that says that, okay, Maya, you've actually accomplished a lot, and you're, a good person, and you're doing a lot for the world, and you're expanding your conservation work, and so be it. Then there's another part of your mind that produces other kinds of thoughts, right? And this is the kind of with the part of your mind that says, oh, like maybe you're an imposter, like you wouldn't be what you are without him, and this and that. Like, do you see how like those two it's not like each of these thoughts is independent. You have like two like thought producing machines. They're like bubble machines. You guys have bubble? I have kids, so bubble machines are very common. And so, they just kind of like these things. And some days, like one thought machine is like more active than another thought machine. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like you wake up on one day and you're like, oh, I'm a fucking imposter today. And on another day, it's like, oh, like I'm like trying to make the world a better place. And that's awesome. So the first thing is when you talk about overthinking, I don't know that it's so much that you're thinking too much. I get the sense that on some days you think from the wrong place.
I would agree with that. Sure, that makes sense.
Right? So let's try to understand how that is, because then maybe we can get a control over overthinking. I don't think that thinking too much is a problem. Like if you're thinking about, conservation work or how to make the most of your presence on Twitch or things like that, we definitely want you to think as many thoughts as you can on that.
Right.
So the first thing is I have an issue with the word overthinking because I think it's a little bit of a misdiagnosis of, not acknowledging. It's not like your thinking is too high or too low. It's like there are different kinds of thinking. And one source of your thinking is kind of problematic. So let's start by understanding where that thought machine comes from and what it looks like. So when you had the idea for the emote, can you walk me through like how you decided to do that emote as kind of the prize for a particular goal?
Mm-hmm. It had been created and I rejected it immediately when it was created because I didn't want it.
Why didn't you want it?
Well, one, because it's a picture of my face that I don't particularly like. And
okay, so when you say a picture of your face that you don't particularly like, help me understand that.
It's just me making like a weird expression. And it's kind of weird to have face emotes in chat.
What when you see a picture of your face with a weird expression, how does that make you feel?
Embarrassed, I guess.
Okay. What are you embarrassed by?
That people are gonna see it and think that I look weird.
Okay. So people think that I look weird.
Sure.
What do you mean by weird?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Have you felt like you look weird in the past?
Not particularly. No.
Okay. Do you remember being concerned about your appearance when you were growing up?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
I don't think more so than an average young girl.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, in like middle school, I was super awkward. Short but weirdly lanky. Had a unibrow, stringy hair, all that. I started worrying more about my appearance at the beginning of high school, when I started learning how to use makeup, I guess is where it started. And other girls started, like, to me, getting prettier. And I felt like I was behind the curve. So, yeah. But
What do you remember what kind of thoughts you had?
I thought that makeup made them look really different in a good way, and I thought that makeup either didn't make me look different enough, or I wasn't good enough at doing it, or it made me look different in a bad way. So I was like, why can't I do makeup to make me look better like they can?
Why did you need to look better?
To catch up, I think.
Behind the curve is fucking devastating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to kind of tie things together, behind the curve is a thought machine.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Sounds toxic.
Yeah. Does that make sense at all? Like, because it's kind of a vague statement I'm making. I'm like,
yeah.
No,
it does. Totally.
Help me understand what you understand when I say behind the curve is a thought machine.
That if that thinking can lend itself to a lot, like a variety of situations.
Absolutely.
For me, like academically, socially, physically.
Sure. Right. So let's just think about this for a second. So do you feel like you're behind the curve on Twitch?
A little bit. Not in terms of like my viewership or my rate of growth, but there's a lot that I don't understand about Twitch just because I haven't been around as long as other people. A lot of Twitch history that I don't know. A lot of intricacies of streaming that I don't understand just because I haven't had enough experience.
Yeah. So that's a behind the curve thought.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds to me like someone who recognizes that they've been doing this for about a year and they have a lot to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you're behind the curve. That just means you're 1 year into the curve. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
Do you see the difference there?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel bad when you say, I have a lot to learn about Twitch?
No.
Okay. So now let's talk about internalizing growth for a second. Do you feel like Mizkif is sort of the makeup that makes you look better than you truly are? Is that sometimes how you feel about it?
I'm having a hard time like putting those things together.
Okay. So maybe they're not connected. Let me put it another way. I'm noticing something that you have a sense of your worth that sometimes is low.
Mm-hmm.
And that you have an idea that you can do certain things to artificially elevate your sense of worth.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say makeup is one example, right? Now, we're not saying that you're different from most people. I mean, most people are like this, okay? That's how we can talk about this because these are patterns that exist with like basically everyone I've ever talked to. And so I'm kind of thinking, if we take this idea that like Maya's not good enough, and then unless she can like do something external that makes her good enough or makes her appear to be good enough, I think makeup falls into that. And I'm wondering whether Ms. Gift's bump on your stream also sort of qualifies under that framework of, oh, you couldn't make it yourself, but he's basically the thing that elevates you beyond where you normally belong. And so the success is not yours.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so closely tied to Ms. Kiff as it is like the bump in viewership and like general like numbers that I have on Twitch now. Like the numbers make me look like I'm a better streamer than I am.
Make me look like a better streamer. Beautiful. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Right? Where do you get the idea of what your true, like that implies that there's like a false streamer quality and a true streamer quality, right? Like, oh, my numbers are better than what I deserve.
Yeah.
So where do you get the idea of like what your gold standard is? How do you determine what you deserve? How do you determine what's right? Because it's inflated.
Yeah.
So where do you get the idea of like what's true north?
Maybe it's because I haven't been on Twitch that long, or because my like life purpose or my life goal for years has been to be a force in conservation. And before, when I was working at the zoo, I was completely and fully satisfied doing a presentation for like 30 people, a class of 30 people, or like a crowd of max 100 people. You know, I was like, that's huge. And I would go home and feel really good about it and think like, I just inspired this many people today. And that's a big deal for me. I think it's unfathomable to imagine 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people watching me and me having the same effect on that many people. So I maybe feel like there's something not wrong, but like there's no way that I can influence this many people just because I'm like good at what I'm doing, or like because I'm a good streamer. Like there must be something that they're missing, or that like I'm like they're like being tricked into thinking I'm some expert that I'm not, or that I like deserve this like platform that I don't. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
So I'd like to ask you a few questions about that, if that's okay.
Sure.
So the first thing is I'm hearing a common theme of like you deserve something and you get more than you deserve.
Yeah.
Right? So so I think the main question is like, where do you get the idea of what you deserve? Right? So I think that's a thought machine. This idea that like, I don't deserve this, or I'm not good enough, or I wouldn't be somewhere, because like you don't have intrinsic value in who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's not like it's not an all the time thing. And I think it's beautiful that you gave the example of when you give a conservation lecture for 30 people, because at that time, the thought machine of I don't deserve this, or I'm not a good person, or I'm not good enough is not producing thoughts.
Right.
In fact, what you tell me is there's a different thought machine that's kind of like saying like, oh, this is awesome. Like you did a great job. Even though like it's kind of a small impact, it feels fulfilling and right to you. Mm-hmm. And there are other times where on some objective criteria, in theory, you're having a bigger impact, but it feels like you're kind of a fraud.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So for you to feel like you're a fraud must mean that you believe something about yourself. So like if I pretend to be a doctor, or if I think I'm not a real doctor, if I feel like I'm a fraud doctor, even if I'm performing the duties of a doctor, I have to have a belief that I'm not a real doctor that comes from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Right? So what I'm really curious about, and I think if we really want to try to help you, Maya, it's to help you understand like where you get the idea that you're a fraud. Mm-hmm. We have to find out where that thought machine came from. Do you have any idea?
I think that that's actually something that I've had for a long time, or like the idea of like I'm the fraud thing, even before streaming. Yep. I grew up in a super, super competitive school district.
Now we're getting there.
Yeah.
You mentioned academics earlier and behind the curve.
Yeah. We had we easily have one of the highest suicide rates in the country. Not just at my high school, but a bunch of high schools in the area. And I've always said, I still say now, even though I shouldn't, that, and I've said it on stream before too, that I come across as more intelligent than I am because I've been taught in school to be articulate, or I have been taught to come across as being intelligent, but I'm not.
So Maya, I'm going to repeat back your statement. Okay. I come across as more intelligent than I am. Help me understand what you see in that statement.
What do you mean what I see?
So I guess it's kind of a read my mind question. So in that statement, I see once again the presumption that you are one thing and that you're a fraud. Do you see that? In that statement, we see the same thing. I'm smarter than I appear to be. I'm not as good looking as I appear with makeup. I'm not as successful of a streamer as I would be unless I got the bumps from LSF or this or that. Right. It's sort of this idea of intrinsic value and the way that the world perceives you. And the world perceives you like you're over here, but you feel like you're over here.
Yeah, that's...
And absolutely, that started way before you started streaming on Twitch. Twitch is just one manifestation that activates that thought machine. Do you see this is a core part of you that frequently, whether it's academics, whether it's social stuff, you feel behind the curve. You feel like you're not, that other people think you're something that you're not.
Yes.
And can I ask you some questions? I learned this lesson the hard way, where sometimes I would ask people personal questions about where they grew up or where they are. Sure. And, you don't do that on Twitch.
No,
that's just because, I usually see people in the privacy of my office where no one is watching, so they can give me details about, what street they grew up on. But do you mind if I ask a couple of questions? Because you mentioned that we have the highest suicide rate. I thought that was a weird thing, and I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, for sure. My first move on Twitch was leaking my full name, so I'm not that worried. But I'll let you know if I don't want to answer something.
So can you tell me where you grew up?
Yeah, Silicon Valley.
Okay.
California.
And okay. I was just laughing. Anyway. So tell me a little bit about what growing up was like for you. That explains so much. Okay.
Oh, does it?
I work with a fair number of people who are in Silicon Valley and also have children of parents who are in Silicon Valley.
So rat race, yeah. Growing up, I grew up on a small farm, so I've always been around animals. I was the only one out of 4. I have 3 other siblings that was really into animals. My sister and I are super close in age. We're 18 months apart. She's far more...
And how old are you, Maya?
I'm 21.
Okay.
She's far more academically inclined than I am. She went to an Ivy. She played soccer all through high school. I also played soccer in high school. And
who's older?
She is.
Okay.
She's older by 18 months. And I played a bunch of sports. I rode horses. I've been riding horses all my life. And I'm a senior at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, but not in school right now because of the virus. So.
Okay. What are you studying?
Agriculture. Agricultural communications is my major.
That sounds cool. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
The idea of the major is to crank out people that can work in the ag industry that are capable of communicating messages to consumers better. So marketers, journalists, environmental lawyers, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that she went to an Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
There are mixed feelings for sure. I mean,
Absolutely.
proud. She got recruited for D1 soccer as well. My sister's always been like a
Better than you?
in a lot of ways, sure. Yeah. But I was super proud that she went to an Ivy. She didn't end up being all that happy there, but it was cool to know that she got, like, when she got in, it was like a really big deal, and that she was going for engineering. She's always wanted to do engineering, so yeah, it was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It also was a little bit nerve-wracking because her going to an Ivy kind of set the precedent that I would also, or I felt that way. My dad wanted me to go to Cornell, but
where are your other two siblings in terms of your y'all's age? So she's 23, 22, 23, you're 21. Where are they?
One of my brothers, they're half brothers, so they're much older.
Interesting.
They're 33 and 29.
And so you said it set the bar for you.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you feel when that bar was set? Do you remember?
Well, I think I knew that it wasn't my, like, whole life. It was kind of like, because she's 18 months older, so everything that she did, like, I was next for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, going to high school, then making this soccer team. She was, like, always setting a bar. This is so depressing. She was always setting a bar that I knew, like, I couldn't hit.
Sure.
So,
would you say that that's when you started to feel behind the curve?
Probably. Probably. I think that fits. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how did it feel when she got into an Ivy? Because you said mixed feelings. Like, obviously you're proud. You love your sister. You respect her a lot. You want her to be happy. But, and?
Kind of like a, oh shit feeling. I don't know.
What's in that? I'm going to ask you to dig a little bit, and if we can't get anywhere, I'll offer you some hypotheses about what oh shit means.
Yeah, that I've never really been interested in attending an Ivy. I wanted to go somewhere where I knew there was, like, a lot of outdoorsy stuff and where people were super relaxed, and my university's been perfect for that, but I didn't want to do, like, a hardcore academics thing, because I just, like, I've never been into it, so it was kind of like a, oh shit, is this gonna make me feel worse about not doing something as challenging as she's choosing to do, I think.
And did it make you feel worse?
Than if she didn't attend an Ivy?
No. I mean, so you kind of said, is this going to make me feel... Okay, so let me take a step back for a second. So this is what I'm envisioning. You have an idea of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You actually do have an idea of who you are, right? So we see real Maya, which is Maya who knows she wants to, like, not be an engineer and go to a school where she can be outdoors and be involved in the ag industry or animals or things like that. Conservationist Maya who works summers and educates kids about animals and teaches them about conservation. Maya who raises money for charity on Twitch, of all places.
Right.
This is real Maya. That Maya is one thought machine, right? It makes you happy with what you accomplish, even if what you accomplish is quote unquote small. And then there's also behind the curve Maya.
Sure.
And what I'm hearing in oh shit is like a conflict between real Maya and behind the curve Maya. So then you start to think, like, oh, like, maybe I'm making a mistake. Like, maybe I should do what she does. Is this good enough? Am I capable? You said that you're not interested in doing what she does, but I would hypothesize that you felt on some level that you're not capable. And if you chose
that's
to
absolutely
play,
true. Yeah.
right?
I don't think that I am.
And so how do you feel about not being capable? How does that make you feel?
I mean, I recognize that I'm capable of a lot of things that my sister's not. in being a communicator, in public speaking, in, you know, like other some
Being internet famous.
Sure. But like the feeling in high school, like all my friends, I didn't have a single friend that didn't attend college, and the vast majority of them went to better or like more difficult to get in colleges than I did. Everyone had a higher SAT, ACT score than I did. And it always felt like I was like well, I mean, we've already talked about this, that I was just like trying to like fake that I was as smart as they were. So in thinking that I'm not capable of going to an Ivy or being an engineer or whatever, it's just kind of like, it feels like me like exposing myself, like saying like, yeah, like you're at least being honest with yourself that you're not like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, so when you say exposing, so being honest with yourself sounds like a good thing. Exposing yourself sounds like a not a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so what I'm hearing is that like the gig is up. Like you've been revealed to be a fraud because you ended up at some school that's not an Ivy. And now the cat's out of the bag. Maya's actually kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah. I think that fits. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is it like to hear me say that? Does it hurt?
I mean, my first reaction was not really, but maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Okay. So let's think about that. Like, that's weird, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I think if we think about, your emote,
Mm-hmm.
this would have been a prime time to spam the emote in this channel, because
Right.
I just said something to you that seems like it should be really hurtful, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, literally the phrase that I used or close to it was like, the cat's out of the bag. Oh, Maya's dumb.
Right. Yeah.
And isn't that what you're afraid of people saying?
I feel like people already know. But that doesn't make sense. Or that doesn't add up.
You're damn right it doesn't. Let's think about that. Right? So what's weird? Because like, even though you feel like people already know, you don't want them to say. Right? You want to try to hide what you're afraid they already know.
Yeah.
So what happens? Why doesn't it hurt when I bring it out into the open?
I can't logically think of a reason for that because it makes no
Okay.
sense.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry.
Great answer. No, that's an
Okay.
excellent answer, Maya. Because it's fucking confusing.
All right.
Let me think about how to explain this. So when people find out that you're a fraud,
Mm-hmm.
what do you envision? How do they react?
I don't know how to articulate it.
Yeah, because I don't think it's actually like a vision, right? So like, what are the
Yeah.
feelings? Like, help me understand that. Like, what are you afraid of them? How do they make you feel, or how do you feel once they know? Let's start there.
That I have some sort of like malicious intent to like trick people, or that I've been lying, or that I'm like not genuine.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So I think what you're afraid of in terms of a negative reaction is that, right? Like, it's not just them finding out, it's the judgment that they place upon you after they find out.
Yes.
It's the way that they perceive you.
Mm-hmm.
So now let me ask you a question. Is it the fraud that hurts or the judgment that hurts?
The judgment.
Absolutely. Right? So just think about that for a second, right? Because like, if someone, and so I think the reason that, I mean, maybe this does hurt you and you're not telling me or tricking me. But I think the reason that you can hear those words from me is because I actually don't judge you negatively at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying the words without the judgment. We're talking about you being a fraud. I see that you think you're a fraud, and I don't believe you're a fraud. So I think because you're an empathic person, when you look at me, I don't judge you for that. In fact, I think that, yeah, this is going to sound weird. How can I say this? It's very clear to me that you're not a fraud. The only thing that is like wrong about you is that you think you're a fraud. Like, you know who you are, and I think you're amazing. And the only issue is that, like, sometimes you think you should be something that you're not. And not all the time, but there are two thought machines. One thought machine is like the genuine Maya who does like real stuff. I think that person is awesome. I think the only problem that I have is that sometimes there's a part of your mind that tells you you should be someone else. And that's the part of you that makes you feel dumb. I don't think you're dumb. First of all, I don't know how many like actual score reports you saw for SAT scores or ACT scores, but there's a decent chance that not everyone did as well as they said they did.
Right.
There's also a decent chance that I doubt that you actually had the lowest SAT score, because statistically that's very, very unlikely. I think that's probably a cognitive bias on your part, in the same way that you had a cognitive bias that, oh, like makeup makes other people look better, but it makes me look how?
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So something about this, how are you feeling right now, by the way?
Fine.
Okay. Something about this, I think, comes back to this core idea of like, you're someone who's behind the curve. You're not as good as everyone else. And if it's, does that make sense about, actually, before I go there, does that make sense why those words may not hurt you? Because I say those words, but I don't have any judgment. In fact, I have a positive judgment with it, which is probably why it's confusing for you. And you're picking up my positive judgment and you're hearing my negative words, and that doesn't fit.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you this, like, can you tell me a little bit more about like growing up?
Sure. What do you want to know?
What was it like growing up in your house?
Pretty good. Me and my sister have always been super close. We did everything together when we were little. My brothers, because they're older, I mean, I grew up with them, but they left for college when I was like on the younger side, so
yeah, sure,
it's a little different. My parents, both Silicon Valley, work full time, so we were pretty much raised by babysitters, mostly one babysitter, and then she just like didn't pick us up one day, so then random teenage babysitters throughout elementary school, some in middle school, and
what's it like being raised by babysitters?
Fine. I don't feel like I ever really had a problem with it. I didn't realize until like high school that it was weird that they like, we only called one of them mom, but I didn't realize until high school that that was like strange or like abnormal.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat back what I heard. We only called one of them mom.
Yeah, see, yes, I hear it, but I didn't realize growing up that that was abnormal.
Sure. What kind of work did your parents do?
Tech.
Okay. And do you remember what so it sounds like you were raised by babysitters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what happened when one of them didn't pick you up? Like you said one of them.
Yeah, so she was there. I mean, she was there the day my sister was born, so she was absolutely there the day I was born. And then she was with us until I was in 3rd grade or something.
Okay.
2nd or 3rd grade, every day. And then she just didn't pick us up from school one day, and I guess she had some sort of nervous breakdown. But I did talk to her about it once. Because at some point in high school, she reached out to my sister and like wanted to meet up with us, which was weird. And then she told us that she had a nervous breakdown. But I'm not really sure what the reason was. She lost her husband at some point in there, so that was probably the reason, or a big part of it.
Okay. I'm just gonna think for a second. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
How's this going so far, by the way?
Good. It's fun.
Okay. You feel like you're learning anything?
Mm-hmm.
What are you learning?
I don't usually think about I don't usually go that far back when I think about anxiety or insecurity or whatever. So
yeah,
it's interesting. I've been seeing a therapist for just over 2 years, and I did EMDR for like almost a whole year, and I did neurofeedback for a few months. So we've talked about it in there. Yeah, it's been a lot. I was in therapy.
Why are you doing EMDR?
I had like deep rooted insecurities in my former relationship that I wanted to figure out. So we did EMDR and focused a lot actually on that babysitter and about like abandonment issues and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then neurofeedback was for a separate trauma that I was hoping for memory recovery because I lost most of it. But that's
what?
I haven't talked about it on stream, so I
okay.
Don't want to.
We can steer clear of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess some things are starting to fit together a little bit more for me. So help me understand a little bit about what your relationship with your parents was like.
My parents are great. My dad doesn't talk a lot, and he's not very affectionate, but he's first generation. Or he moved here when he was 17. And he's always just been really, really quiet. And then my mom is super loving, and she loves animals, and yeah, so my mom and I, we got along, but then we butt heads in high school a lot, but that's because I was a teenage girl. That's a lot like her, I've learned.
Completely normal.
Yeah.
And what, when you say that your dad wasn't very affectionate, do you remember feeling like you wanted him to be more affectionate?
No. Not... He was when me and my sister were little, and then when we got older, wasn't. But I never thought of it as being anything but normal.
It sounds like you feel pretty strongly like your parents love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like they're great.
Yeah, they are.
Can you, and once again, anything that you don't want to talk about, just let me know what we're steering clear of. Can you tell me what you mean by abandonment issues?
Yeah. So the reason that I started going to therapy was because I was really insecure in my last relationship. Like, I always thought that he was going to leave or whatever. So I went in to figure out why that was happening. Mm-hmm. And we had a hard time figuring it out in talk therapy. Then my psychologist recommended EMDR because she thought that it was something deeper. I went to EMDR, we did a bunch of sessions, and I don't remember what the session was, but we had some breakthrough session where I, started talking about that babysitter, and how, when a parent figure or something leaves... how the kid feels like it's their fault, or the kid feels like they're not good enough or whatever. So
what's your understanding of that? How does that work? Do you know?
A kid not understanding and thinking that it's their fault that that person left. Mm-hmm. Which I know logically isn't the case. But
what do you mean logically isn't the case? What do you mean by that?
I don't think that she left because she didn't like me.
Oh, right,
or because it was my fault. But yeah, my kid brain, my therapist would say, is still thinks that that's a thing. So that tendency of thinking that someone's gonna leave because of me, or someone's just gonna ditch me after I think that my relationship with them is super secure was leaking into my current relationship at the time.
And did that make sense to you? Did you find that to be the case? Like, was that hypothesis kind of very helpful and applicable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And after that session, it got a little bit better, but it remained pretty debilitating throughout that relationship.
And once again, if you don't feel comfortable answering this, just let me know. But I was just curious, is that still pretty active for you in your relationship with Miskith?
It's not, which is really bizarre. And I talked to my therapist about that a decent amount now. I took I had about a year of being single and doing at that point I had stopped the EMDR and the neurofeedback. But it used to be debilitating, fear, and I would be sad and whatever about him talking to other girls and that kind of thing. And I'm not sure if that there's jealousy that comes up, but I don't think that it's abnormal.
Sure.
Between me and Matt. And I'm not sure if that's because of the work that I've done or because something's changed for me or if it's because of differences in Matt compared to my ex-boyfriend, but it's pretty weird or surprising.
Would you like me to try to explain what my understanding of that is?
Sure. Yeah.
So let's start with your kid brain.
Okay.
So early on when children are young, they lack something called theory of mind. And theory of mind is the capacity to put yourself in other people's minds and understand that they have thoughts and feelings and intentions. Okay. So the simplest thing, the simplest reason why abandonment of parental figure leads to a sense of you are unlovable or there's something wrong with you is because a child literally does not understand that there are other agents in the world who can do things.
Right.
They're the only thing that exists because they don't understand that there are other thinking, breathing beings out there.
Yeah.
And so anything that happens to them is their fault because they're all powerful in the universe in their mind because they just don't understand that other people exist. And this changes drastically, especially in your teenage years. So that you start to develop theory of mind, around you develop it relatively early, but it becomes really, really big when you go through puberty.
Mm-hmm.
And in puberty, the reason that high school is so hard and middle school is so hard is because this is literally when your brain develops the capacity to understand that other people have lasting opinions of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that if I do something, this person is going to think this about me. That capacity, if you talk to a 7-year-old, they don't understand that. Right. They don't understand that if you go to someone's house and you break their thing, that person is not going to like you.
Mm-hmm.
All they understand is that they're not supposed to do it and they don't understand why. They're it's dumb. I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want. Right.
Yeah.
And when you become a teenager, you start to realize, theory of mind is actually a thing and people think things about me. And that's really terrifying because now you have to balance all of these hundreds of people that you know and what they think about you.
Mm-hmm.
So as for why your current relationship, and I'm not surprised at all that it's better, and that's because I think you figured out the thought machine. So you discovered through EMDR, you figured out, there's a thought machine that sources my thoughts of insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And once you discover the source of the thought machine, you can start the process of turning it off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would literally, if I were to record your thoughts from your last relationship and this relationship, I think one of them just had way more thoughts coming from that thought machine. And they just don't come from this thought machine because you just kind of turned it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it sounds kind of simple, but honestly, it kind of is. And so the interesting thing here is that I think that you have another thought machine, which is behind the curve.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, and I'm not sure if it's your parents, everyone wants to say it's your parents, all of us therapists and psychiatrists and stuff, we're it's your parents.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there was something around your dad not being quite affectionate enough, or maybe your parents compared you. Did your parents compare you a lot with your sister?
Yeah, but not explicitly. They wouldn't say it. Or maybe they didn't then. Maybe I just think that they did. but
No,
they've-
I mean, so interesting, right? Like how you're analyzing what you said. So let's not judge what you said. So how
Okay.
did you feel growing up?
My dad more so than my mom, but yeah, I think that they compared us a lot.
And how did you notice that?
I guess them just like expecting me to do well. Like my sister in elementary school, there were like normal classes and advanced math classes. I think that because my sister was always in the advanced ones, they expected me to be in those classes as well. My sister making varsity soccer freshman year, just like expected me to do the same. Yeah, I guess that like sister set precedent, expecting me to reach that precedent.
And what was it like to not reach that precedent? I mean, the interesting thing is I'm almost interpreting what you said is that you weren't in advanced math classes and you didn't end up in varsity soccer. Is that true?
That's about true. Yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel to hear me say that explicitly?
Well, it's factual. So
Sure.
So yeah, it doesn't bother me too much. But I don't know, maybe at first it bothered me. Actually, yes. Okay, it did bother me at first. The first like big example that I have is this advanced math stuff. And I would like on my own study. I actually recently I did this YouTube video where I went through like old schoolwork and old pictures and stuff. And I found a letter that I wrote to a teacher. It's not in the video. I found a letter that I wrote to a teacher about like really wanting to be in advanced math, which is like not a thing that, I mean, it's not like you submit a letter to be in advanced math. I like wrote a letter to my teacher for the following year saying like, can I please be in this class? And this was in like 3rd or 4th grade or something.
Sure.
Yeah, and I was never in it. So at first I think it made me feel bad, and then later on in high school, like when I didn't get into varsity soccer at that point, it was just like a norm. So I think it probably became easier to deal with.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. So, no, my friend, I think by the time you hit high school, it became chronic. Right? So now what we're dealing with is something that's chronic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like your sense of being behind the curve, like now, in a sense, when you say it's become easier to deal with, not really. You've become better at dealing with something that at that point became fact.
Yeah.
So that's bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So, like, do you understand what I mean by that?
I don't really understand why it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I understand that you don't understand that. So like what I'm saying is that like you think that this is just the way that you are.
Yes.
Right. So like I think that that's bad because I don't think you're that way.
Okay.
So let's think through this, okay? And is it okay that we're being a little bit more analytical instead of emotional?
Yeah, totally. I don't mind.
Were you hoping to come in here and have like a cathartic, like, oh, like, oh.
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to, because I think you've done a lot of that kind of stuff. I don't know why I believed that, but now it sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
So I want you to just think. So first, let's think about the 3rd grader who writes a letter to their math teacher to be in advanced math.
Yeah.
Let's talk about her. Like, what do you think a 3rd grader, how do you think that 3rd grader feels?
Well, it definitely wasn't because I liked math and I wanted to challenge myself.
Absolutely.
I have always
third
hated
graders.
math.
3rd graders don't want to challenge themselves in any way.
Sure. Yeah. I've always hated math. When I was reading the letter, it felt like a really sad, like desperate attempt to find another way to get in because I knew that I wouldn't get in because of my test score.
Yep.
So
it is sad and desperate. What does that person feel about themselves?
Probably just that they're not smart enough.
Yeah. Right. they're not good enough.
Right. Yeah, sure.
And that they have to put on makeup to fool people. They have to do something that is outside the norm of what normally, like normal kids get into math class by being smart.
Yeah,
and normal people are pretty and they can put on makeup. And I'm sorry if I'm bludgeoning you with this.
No, you're
but
fine.
I think it's related. But like, normal people can put on makeup and look better, but like I'm fundamentally different. And so I have to go the extra mile to catch up and be normal.
Yeah.
Right? You start behind people. Is that how you feel about yourself?
Yep.
So can you see how like that's what the third grader feels about themselves, right? So like you kind of said, this runs deep. I completely agree. And then let's just pause and think about that for a second. What do you think about that third grader's beliefs? Do you think that those are accurate?
I mean, I wish that I could say no, but my answer is like, yeah. Because I know that according to if we're talking about the math class, like, I know that even if I don't know, I mean, I could have, but even if I were to like study harder or like really make an effort to test to get into that class, that I don't think I would have. So yeah, I mean, I think I was accurate in thinking that I needed to do more to try to get in.
I'm glad you're saying that, because this is where we get into a really, really tricky trap, which is that we want to be positive, right? What we should say is that, yeah, third grader, you can do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, you're not actually dumb. You don't actually have to work as hard. But like the truth is that like maybe, I mean, I don't think you're dumb. I mean, that was kind of an inflammatory statement, but
no,
I think it's good that you can recognize that you're not your sister. The big difference is that third grader you placed a value judgment on not being your sister.
Yeah.
You assumed that your sister was like objectively better than what you are. You assumed that being in advanced math is objectively better than not being in advanced math.
Yes.
What I would like to help you do, Maya, is to let go of that second part, the judgment, because I think you're accurate, right? Like, if you're not good at math and you're not going to go, like, if you're not going to study engineering at an Ivy League university, like, you shouldn't study, like, fuck that.
Right.
Be the person that you want to be. I think the tricky thing is that somewhere along the way, you started judging yourself for being who you are. And you tried to be someone else. And then what happened is when high school came along, you sort of got so good at that it stopped being painful. You just sort of accepted it. You're smiling.
Yeah, no, it's just true.
What's true about it? Tell me, what are you thinking?
It's just what you're saying is accurate. I was resonating with it.
How so?
That that I had like tried to be something else, and then by the time I got to high school, it was I had just gotten used to doing that.
Yeah. Right. So at that point, like, the problem is that at that point it becomes fact and it becomes baked in. It's like baked, like you can't take it out anymore. Like, once you bake a cake, everything's in there.
Right.
And now I think the problem is that we see that part of you, right? Like, we see the third grader who's not good enough for advanced class, who in your teenage years needed makeup to look normal. And now we still see it with your Twitch stream, where like, oh, I couldn't have this on my own because I'm not good enough like Miskiff is. Like, I'm less good. And I need letters to math teachers in order to be like the others. And it's just become true for you.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
I think that it's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that it makes sense. I'm not sure what that means for me, or like my identity, or what I should do about it, but I think that it's
true. So let's answer that question, because that's the important thing, right? Cool. So the first is, oddly enough, I don't want you to make that untrue. It's not my place to tell you it isn't true. What I'd like for you to be able to do, and what I'd like to help you do, is free yourself of the judgment that comes with that. Okay. Do you play games?
No, not really.
Okay, fuck.
I mean, I've played some, but most
All of my
brownies.
analogies go out the window.
Yeah, I won't.
So
If
you
you,
work
I
with-
won't understand if you make a reference.
So you work with animals, right?
I do.
You have a hawk?
I do. Right now
What
I have
kind
a
of-
falcon. I
what
had
kind
a.
of falcon?
She's an American kestrel.
Okay. So kestrel is a pretty small bird, right?
Smallest falcon in North America. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, let's think about that for a second.
Okay.
So like a kestrel isn't as big.
Mhm.
And like, does that mean that it's worse?
Well, it depends what you want to do, but generally speaking, no.
Right. So like, I want you to think about that, right? So like, the problem is not that factually you aren't as smart as other people. The problem is that you don't think about it depends on what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that? Like, it's that part of the thought process that's missing. You just look at size. You don't look at like adaptability, and sometimes you do. But does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that that's been ingrained in me and all of my peers since we were in preschool, for that matter. That like, what you should do is do really well in school, be really good at math, be an engineer or comp sci, and go to a really good
Valley.
school, right? Yeah. But no one ever said like you should like you should learn how to train animals, and you should try to go into the ag industry, and you should, like, if you like doing outdoor stuff, like, you should get really into it, you know, and like nurture that passion. No, nobody talks about that. So
Yeah. And what do you think about that?
If I liked math a lot and wanted to be an engineer and went to a school for that, I probably wouldn't feel a lot of the things that I feel.
Yeah.
now.
So I think actually, Maya, I think you were just truly remarkable. And the reason is because, like you said, all of those kids were. Do you know why your high school has a high suicide rate?
Probably because not all of them like math and engineering or want to be that person.
And what do they do when they don't like math or engineering?
What, kill themselves? I mean, not all of them, but
Yeah.
a lot of them. Yeah.
And why do they kill themselves? Because they don't like math and engineering. Like, what do they end up majoring in college?
Well, most of them didn't. The ones that, I mean,
Kill themselves, obviously.
right? College, but
you know, like those
they-
kids, like, you know, the ones that didn't kill themselves, the ones that are just depressed.
yeah.
So like,
I mean, I
they
know
end
a
up-
lot of people. I know a lot of people that went to school. Like my best friend went to school for business, and she was super unhappy, and she changed her major to art and design, and now she's really happy. But she went through quite a crisis in deciding to change her major, and I think there are probably a lot of my peers from high school that have pursued business or comp sci or engineering. And are unhappy, but feel like they're doing what's right. And I
Yep.
think that the kids that couldn't take that, or the kids that were depressed in high school, or the ones that did take their lives, probably just thought that, like, they knew that they wouldn't be happy doing what we were supposed to do. And you get where I'm going with it, so.
No, I'm sorry.
Or not. They knew they wouldn't be happy doing what they were supposed to do, so they took their lives because they knew that they wouldn't be happy because they wanted
Yeah.
to do other things.
So why do I think you're remarkable?
What, because I didn't in high school?
You didn't what?
Commit suicide?
Not only that. I mean, and now I'm curious about whether you were suicidal, but what I think makes you remarkable is that you chose to be what you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? that you had, like, that you chose to like be the person that you shouldn't be. That's what I think makes you amazing. Like, so I think, you know, you're in a world of, I forget, you know, what kind of, like, what, a red-tailed hawk is pretty big.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, you're in a world of where everyone's saying that a red-tailed hawk is what you should be, and you're a kestrel. And I think the people that killed themselves were kestrels that pretended to be red-tailed hawks and then realized that they couldn't take down the kind of prey that red-tailed hawks go for.
Yep. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
What are you feeling right now?
I feel bad. I don't talk about or reflect on the kids from my high school, like, ever. But it's not something that I ever put thought into. The most thought that I've ever put into it was that, like, it was just, like, too much pressure, you know? And I've, like, a lot of the language in, like, high school and stuff when we talk about it was that, like, they, like, couldn't take it, you know, or, like, they, like, couldn't handle the pressure, that kind of thing.
So I think that you're very similar to those kids in high school. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was never depressed or suicidal in high school. I was,
Sure.
In college, like, a year and a half or
I'm wondering,
something like that.
Maya, do you think that those kids in high school felt the way that you felt in the 3rd grade when you wrote that letter?
Yeah, I bet a lot of them felt like frauds, or like they weren't supposed to, like, they weren't like everyone else, or like they were just faking it while everyone else was actually smart. Yeah.
I think that's why it hurts, right? Because, like, when you think about it, you recognize that, like, you know what they felt like. Like, you don't know what you know, but you feel, I mean, to be honest, I was a little bit surprised to see your reaction there.
Which?
But I think just that you got emotional kind of when we were sort of.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I've never cried about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was surprised by that as well.
And I mean, so I was going to ask you, why do you think you did? But I think the reason that you did is because you know what it's like to be them. You know what it's like to feel those feelings. You know what it's like to be 8 years old and, like, start to think that you're not good enough. And between the ages of 8 and 15, every year that goes by, to think more and more that, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not good enough, and maybe I'm not good enough. And then what happens in high school? Then it's not a maybe.
Yep.
Right? Then it's like, I'm not good enough and I'm not going to make it.
Yep.
And then they hold on to hope, and they hold on to hope that maybe they're wrong, maybe they're wrong, maybe they're wrong. But their mind tells them, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not going to get into an Ivy. You're not as good at math. You're not a red-tailed hawk.
Right.
And they can't, what I think really I'm very impressed by, and what I think really makes you an amazing person, has nothing to do with your skills at math or even your, not necessarily your conservation work. It's that you let yourself be a kestrel. And I think that's what saved you. And I think that, like, the world is made a better place by people acknowledging that they're not, by being who they are, right? Like, that's what makes your conservation work impactful, because you actually, like, give a shit about it. Like, imagine an alternate universe where in Silicon Valley, everyone went into conservation work and you were the one kid that liked mathematics. Right? It doesn't matter. It's just like being who you are. And what I'd love it if you could do is just recognize that, you know, when you feel, so now I'll try to tie things up for you, okay? And then you can ask questions, or we can meditate, or whatever, we can talk further. But I'd love it if I could help you walk away from this conversation with something kind of concrete that hopefully you can sort of, like, implement in some way. And that concrete thing is recognize that you have this thought machine of Maya is not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that same thought machine is what drove people to kill themselves in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that same thought machine is what drove you as a third grader to write a letter to your math teacher to like want to be in advanced math class.
Yep.
And just think about the desperation and sadness, right? Like that's where suicide comes from.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I think my stream just... I can hear you now.
Okay. I was saying that I was getting myself going.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault. Just Discord fucks me that way.
No, it's not your. It's my internet, I think.
So I was just thinking that, when I think about suicide, I think about, if you want to understand suicide, it's sadness and desperation.
Mm-hmm.
It's those two things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what leads to suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And that you understood, like third grade, you like understood what that was like. And now what I want you to recognize is that third grade you lives with you today.
Yep.
That all throughout it started, and like there's a part of you that just believes, and then like you thankfully were able to find yourself, quote unquote, right? You found Mizgif and you found Twitch and you found us,
mm-hmm.
and we embraced you and we love you for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you absolutely deserve the success that you have, because you can't fake it on Twitch. You just can't. Like Twitch is actually really, really good at like picking up things. They're kind of visceral and primitive, but they're like very instinctual.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so the next time, can you hear that?
Yeah, it's okay.
It sounds like one of my children has hurt herself.
Oh.
Okay, let me try to wrap. So I was just going to say, so I want you to notice that when you start to feel not good about yourself, or you notice those thoughts, or you start to think like, now we're going to go back to the emote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that if you use this emote, you're a bad person and this and this and this, and recognize, like, try to see like what of those thoughts is coming from the thought machine of third grader Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's coming from those, that you don't have to like follow those. Like, even though you're not as smart as other people, it doesn't, like, who the fuck, this is my point, is like, I want you to let go of your judgment of not being as smart as other people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, if you're not as good of a streamer as Mizgif or other people, like, so be it. Like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Right? You're not a red-tailed hawk, you're a kestrel. Fine. So like, be the kestrel, and as best as you can recognize that part of you is like there, and that's going to be like bubbling up thoughts, but you have this other thought machine in which you're not behind the curve. That thought machine doesn't care about whether you're behind the curve or not. It doesn't care about whether you convince 30 people or 1,000 people or 3,000 people. You just care about convincing people, and you just care about pushing forward.
Yeah.
And the more that you can listen to that part of yourself, I think the less power this internalizing your success and insecurity and anxiety and overthinking will have over you.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That makes
Thoughts,
sense.
questions?
I don't think so. I think that makes sense. I like the bird analogy a lot, because I've had a red tail and a kestrel, so I have the like utmost respect for both of them, and that does make sense to me. So that's cool. I'll hold on to that one. But I don't think I have any questions.
Okay, great. Any last thoughts, or we can say goodbye, either one. Not that you have to say something.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, this was a really cool conversation. Thank you. You're doing really, really cool stuff on Twitch. I mean, you know that, I'm sure. But yeah, a lot of people have been like touched or like affected by watching your stream. So it's cool that you're doing what you're doing. I appreciate it.
I try to touch and fondle as many people as I can.
All right, well, good. What a close. Good. I'm glad to hear
it. All right. Well, listen, Maya, I've had a blast too, and I think it's awesome that you're doing this conservation work because of people like you. Like, my kids have alligators in the backyard. So thank you for that.
Cool. Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
Actually, the reason we have alligators in our backyard is because there's a swamp or marsh that has this gigantic development that they're destroying their habitat, so they're moving into the lake behind our house.
Jeez.
But I really think it's awesome what you're doing, and I share that sentiment. And I think you're, I don't doubt for a minute that you bring real value to Twitch and that you're an awesome person. I don't think, I agree with you that you're not good at math.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, you're probably still good at math. You're just not a math savant.
Shit.
Okay, fine. So fine. Suck at math.
Thank you.
And that's perfectly fine in my book. And I think the only reason that you're behind the curve is because you're on a curve that you don't belong.
Yeah.
And so of course you're going to be behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere along the way you started to think that you're behind on all curves because Maya's the girl who's behind on the curve. No, that's not true. It's just because you were on so many curves that weren't your curves. So anyway, good luck to you. And, let us know if we can support you in some other way, or sometimes people have an aftermath from these conversations. And I'm glad you have a therapist that you can lean on, because then, but if you want to, if you need some kind of support or something, just let us know.
Cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and good luck.
All right. Thank you.
And thank you for making the world a better place.
Oh, you too. Thanks.
Take care.
All right. You too. Bye. Oh. Dude, I almost chat. People claps. Yay. I almost made it through without crying, dude. I was so close. And that is not the thing that I expected to cry about either. Like, I actually thought when I was talking to him, I was like, I'm really gonna do this without crying. Damn. Wild. Wow! Kareem! Thank you for the 5. Why does it say 4 on here, but 5 there? Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Hen with the 5 bits. Main with 100 bits. Nightwing for the 7 months. Projector for the 3 months. Jay with the 5 bits.
Wow.
Thank you. CQ with the Prime.
People Pug, wow.
XAXAX with the Prime, thank you. Alright.
Wow.
Maya hypers.
Yay. X, thank you for the 2 months. That was a good time, huh? That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad.
Wow.
Space Buns, thanks for the tier 1. Yeah, I really didn't expect to cry about the kids from my high school. That's not something that I've ever gotten emotional about, really. It was always just like a matter-of-fact thing. I don't know if I've ever talked to you guys about...
Wow.
What is this? Mick, thank you for the tier 1. It's pretty sad that I have to say this, but it seems like Maya finds Mizkif with his extremely deprived ability to maintain attention. She likes animals so much. Animals are very much similar to small children, very little attention span. It makes perfect sense that she should be attracted to Mizkif and wouldn't feel pressure of him leaving. Animals don't leave, Mizkif won't. Holy shit. Give me your fucking money!
Rashford ML donated $10. That was a tough conversation, but it's worth having. I hope the best for you. Don't feel too bad about getting emotional.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. No simping Rashton, dude. He's been here forever and he's a falconer. Only pog him, please. Thank you. What did I talk? I feel like what did I even talk about? I talked about Silicon Valley, and I talked about... Have I ever talked to you guys about my babysitter? I don't think I have. Because that's weird. No? Really? Damn. That's interesting. Well, now you know. Mom? Yeah, no, we straight up called her Mom. That's weird, huh? Kinda. Okay, well... What do you want, man? My parents worked a lot. What else do I talk about? Suicide in high school. Makeup, for some reason. Which is interesting, because in high school and at the beginning of college, I could not go to class without wearing makeup. Now, I don't really give it... You know what's interesting that I didn't talk to him about that I just thought about now? Is... You know how I was saying in my last relationship, I was super insecure and it was, like, debilitating with, like, being scared of him talking to other girls and whatever, and now my relationship with Matt, that doesn't exist? You know what's interesting and something that he really hooked onto that I didn't think about until now is that my entire relationship with my ex, I wore makeup all the time and always felt the need to be wearing it. And it was either between that or after I had started dating Matt that I stopped caring about wearing it. I wonder what he would say about that. Because if that's as, like, metaphoric as he seemed to think it was, that's big. Miz, save the day, good eye, Miz. I think that I stopped caring so much about it before. Actually, he definitely helped me a lot. Maybe it wasn't before him. God, I don't remember. Actually, I think it was after him. Matt does a really good job at making me feel attractive when I'm not wearing makeup, and I've never felt like that before. So, yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Miz saves the day again. God, well, what a wrap up to this thing. I didn't realize that my, like, imposter syndrome was so bad until talking to Dr. K. It's not something that I've talked about with him, or it's not something that I've really talked about on stream, but yikes. I mean, if you look up imposter syndrome and watch that VOD, I'm pretty sure I was, like, it's pretty fucking textbook, what I was... what I was, saying. So, oof. I didn't realize it was that bad. Prime example, yeah, I'm like your textbook. I'm like your poster child. Are you okay, Tavian? Every streamer has it. Yeah, I think the vast majority of streamers have it. Everybody yell because Tavian can't hear. Can you hear that, Tavian? People Pug, wow. Megasphere,
Almost a year since
months.
Professor Epic made me a Maya frog.
Wow. Thank you. This stream was really helpful. Was it? Did you guys enjoy that? Was that interesting? I thought that it would be boring because I've talked to you guys about most stuff before, but I guess there was some stuff in there that I hadn't really talked about with you guys. He is really, I think he really does have a gift for what he does. He's really good at what he does. It's like he's known me for years. It's bizarre. He's really, really good at what he does. So, go Dr. K, good stuff. Thank you so much.
Hi Maya, this was the first Dr. K talk I have watched and felt connected to. I related to a lot of the things you said and want to thank you for talking about it. I kinda teared up at some points lol, but thank you so much.
Aw. Yay. Thanks for the $3. I'm glad that that helped a little bit. Cool. What did you guys relate to? Is that like, or feeling like you should be something that you're not? I guess that's something that most people can relate to. Being bad at math. Not being good enough. Oh, that's fair. Or not feeling like you're good enough. Not being good at math. Feeling behind the curve, sure. Yeah. That's also not something that I had really thought about, is that concept of feeling behind the curve, but that makes sense. Feeling behind in life, yeah, for sure, sure. I can relate to your sister because I'm good at everything. Okay, dude. Alright, boys. I gotta pee. Hold on, I'll be back.
Rest in power, it's all about power. Squeeze two lemons together and really all you'll have is sour. Diesel, niggas will smoke your ass and half the juice. Riding around in an all black coupe, couple of pitches that's ready to shoot. Shit, ducking and bucking and dodging and dropping with 48 ounces and cigarette butts. Fucking around with the up echelon, it will turn you to cubes and I hope you be gone. And roll the overload, cranium overdose, then the cascade. What the fuck is the house? Click on your pap, bitches a rap. Sierra, my witness, I pray for a nap. Younger than the rest will return with the past. Key in ignition, put on the gas. None of you niggas is acting that jazz. Go TV and the Glock and the Cypress and gas. Green gun, particles, turn you into molecules. Planet shrooms, I'll take you to my panic room.
Yeah, all these niggas stealing my style. Can I get my flow back? Yeah, bob on that bitch like Kodak. Yeah, bitch, you know that. Yeah, I push your shit all back. Told that bitch I got money, ayy. Counting them hundreds is nothing, ayy. Told that little bitch I got money, ayy. Told that little bitch it is nothing, ayy. Hit that bitch right from the back, she got turkey. I knock out that bitch like it's stuffing. Yeah, told that little bitch that I'm with it. Told that little bitch that I'm with it. Ayy, what? 21 little boat, yeah. That's a curry, cut your throat, yeah. Kodak do the most, yeah. Told that little bitch I got all the money. I swear this shit is just nothing. I just be dancing right up on that bitch, yeah. Would you be stunting?
Gangsta Brazil. That one I gained on that boy not my friend. I hang with my gang, this ain't gang, felt all of my pain. When I was struggling through the rain, when I had no guard with no ice, wasn't no food but rice. All of these bitches, they want me, but they get one night. Fuck 'em, I give a fuck what you saying. Bitch nigga, no, I ain't playing. I'm by my fatty. Silent team, I'm we ready. Fuck up that nigga, if he turn out too heavy, I'm body. Chance I'm in there, cost me 20. Look at your diamonds look like they fake. Young nigga in the Gucci stands. Fuck with me if you wanna die. Young nigga, I don't want no suit and ties. Look, bro.
Alright. Okay, so yeah, wait, long story short, or not even short, but on the chat, are you that behind? There's no way. Hello? Hello? Oh my god. Some of you are like mega behind. Okay, oh my god, the dance games are just coming in! What the hell? Refresh. Refresh now. Refresh right now. Your internet is dog shit. I know, dude. I know. Hey! Boys! Holy shit. Put a 2 in chat. Alright, most of you are good now. Okay. Yeah, wait. When I was little, I had a babysitter that I called mom, and one day she didn't pick up me and my sister from school, and then my parents had to come get us, and we just didn't hear from her for months. Months. And she was in the delivery room when we were both born. Like, she was with us every single day, and she just didn't pick us up from school, and then she just, like, we didn't see her for months. And then, like, months later, she came to our house drunk, and, she's like, oh, I miss you guys, and then my mom, like, yelled at her and, like, made her get out of the house. And then, later in high school, she always tried to call me and text me and shit, and I just wouldn't respond to her, and I wouldn't answer the phone. And then, my sister wanted to talk to her, and so she told my sister that she wanted to have lunch with me and her. And so me and my sister went and met up with her and had lunch with her, and she just cried the whole time and was like, I'm sorry, like, I had a nervous breakdown, whatever. And this is when we were in high school, and my sister, like, made amends and whatever. I still resent her for it, even though I know that it wasn't, like, I don't know, whatever. But then she just gave us both $50 and then left. And she's been trying to call me ever since, and actually she doesn't do it anymore. But she would try to call me and text me and shit, and I just stopped responding, so now she still does it to my sister, but I don't talk to her. Bernie gifted 21 subs when I was, what the hell? Bernie! Thank you. Holy shit. Holy shit! For Bernie.
21. 21. 21. 21. 21. 21. I sent my bitch to the store because we ran out of soda. What? Bitch, I'm trying to cook this Yola. 21. 100 round drum on the bottom of that shit. Chop a nigga down like a fucking lawnmower. AK-47 around my motherfucking shoulder. 21. Pull up in a rover, then I put up on the fiscal. Put up on your bitch, she suck my dick and then you kissed her.
Ew.
Savage bitch and I don't play around with them swishes. I just smoke them woods. Yeah. Bitch, I'm from the hood. Yeah. Zone 6, Boulder Crest Road, you can't go there. 21 gang, bitch. 21. I mean, I think I got
Thanks for the bits. Hey, yo.
Roll it on my wrist. Roll it on my bitch. What? 30 on my waist. What? 30 to your face. Yeah. 60 to your face. Yeah. 90 to your face. Yeah. That's a close
Here's the
case.
plan for today.
You an old nigga. Man, you washed up. Young Savage, man, I got my car.
I think we can go through Reddits, and then I think I'm gonna end stream, because I want to play the Walking Dead at night. Alright?
21.
Who the fuck picked this little sorry ass beat? I'm from the ugly corner, man. Them little sour ass streets.
Yeah, so people punk. Wow.
Yo.
Damn, I wish I had a bounty. I'd do it right now. Bae, thank you for the 7 months. Talk to Dr. K to farm for a bounty. Yikes. I think we go through Reddits right now. And then later tonight, or when it gets darker, I'll do that later as well. Should I not? I can do them later. Alright, I'll do the Reddits later. Let's give a fat host to somebody. Let's find somebody. Oh, Christ. I don't want to go through just chatting. Why are you saying train? Why would I host train right now? Do I have more viewers than train right now? Oh, then I'm not hosting train. Holy bitch! Huh?
You sit on the table, boy. Come with me.
She doesn't need it. She's doing fine.
Also, I mean, if you're really pissed, then you can also swear. It just shouldn't happen all the time.
Be happy with either video. We're doing it. He has 24 viewers. Alright, boys. Go be happy with 8th Radio. I'll see you guys tonight, okay? We'll do the Reddits. We'll play The Walking Dead. Depending on how we're feeling, maybe we'll react to some shit. Or, I mean, maybe we'll watch the, like, nature stuff. Because it's Earth Day! Ooh! You'll get in trouble for this? What, for rating a small streamer? Why would I get in trouble for that? What? Shut up. Actually annoying. Thank you for listening. Today, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. That was not as bad as I expected. It was scary, but it wasn't that bad. Oh, it's a sub-only chat. Cancel a raid, host him. Alright, I'm hosting him. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of scary, but it was also kind of nice, and I actually learned some stuff, so cool, good stuff. I'll see you guys tonight. Bye.